Please listen carefully.
Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hypothetical Siblings podcast. My name is Lainey.
And I'm Nick.
And we've been gone for we haven't done this in 2 weeks.
Don't pull back the curtain. Don't let them know the secret.
It's too late. I already said it.
You said it. Now they know.
But we went camping for a whole last 7 days.
Which means that we had to record for the Sunday before we left, and then the Sunday that we returned on before we actually went camping,
right.
Because there is no electricity in a woods.
In a woods.
All one word. In a
woods. Yeah.
In a woods.
Which
means that we have a lot of things, or at least I have a lot of things to talk about for my, quote, week, because it's actually been 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. 2? No, 2, yeah.
Almost 2.
No. 2.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
So, do you go first? Do I go first? How are we going to do this?
Well, since you have so much, why don't you go first?
The first thing that I want to talk about with my week is falling down rabbit holes. You know? And
yeah, you've sent me so many YouTube videos. Is that what you're talking about?
So, yes, they are YouTube videos, but none of the ones that I am talking about. I want to talk about a very specific kind of YouTube video with a very deep YouTube rabbit hole to fall down. Okay. Very wide spectrum of things that they can be. You know what that is?
What?
It's fucking car crash videos.
Oh,
I went down, but not like the people die in them ones, because that's fucked up.
Yeah,
like just the ones of you watch a car do a triple barrel roll, and then the guy just crawls out of it, and he just looks at the car like, oh fuck.
Remember when we went to one of our friends' house and we were watching baby animal videos, and we were all just fucking zooted.
We were very zooted.
And then all of a sudden we started watching car crash videos. How did that happen?
And then our one buddy tried to charge the TV because he hated the hedgehog. That's why it happened.
Oh my god.
There was a hedgehog on screen, and one of our buddies was wasted out of his mind and wanted to get up and fight the hedgehog.
I totally forgot about that. That's hilarious. He literally was going after the
and
TV.
Even though I'm older than him, by a fair bit, he's a lot bigger than I am. And I could barely hold him back, and I was like, he's really about to go through this TV right now. There's no one helping me.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, but I've been falling down the rabbit hole of watching car crash videos, because it's one of those things where they're usually only 10 minutes, so they're real bite-sized, right? And then you just watch 40 of them, right? Because you find some random, it's car crash compilation episode 14. You're like, all right, and you click it. Oh, and now it's recommending episode 16.
Right.
But where's episode 15? And 17? And it goes to 300. And so then you look up and it's just 2 a.m. and you've been watching Russian dash cam footage for, 3-4 hours.
Right.
And you're like, well, this is my life now.
I don't tend to stay up that late anymore. Because I'm
I want to say, well, you got up
working
at a reasonable time this morning because you texted me.
And that's
I said,
sleeping
what the fuck?
That's sleeping in late for me now.
Why?
I don't know. I keep waking up at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And this morning I woke up early and then I said, fuck that. And I woke up at 9 instead. Which I was like, wow, I haven't slept in like this in I don't know how long. Yeah.
Absolutely.
As long as I've been alive.
So yeah, Russian dash cam videos is a lot. The other thing is I've been reading like a madman. I think I talked about a while ago that I restarted reading the Harry Potter series. But while we were camping, I read the majority of the 3rd book and finished it. And now I'm reading the 4th book and I'm about a third through it, maybe a quarter. But just what a good series, it's one of those things that you don't realize is so tied to your childhood, because I think I'm much more of a Star Wars fan, I would argue.
Oh yeah.
But there's something that is more there's something very heartwarming about reading Harry Potter, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's that it's relatable. I can't relate to being a space wizard, right? But I can relate to being an edgy 14-year-old that's having issues with his friends.
Right, for real.
You know?
And just, like, dumb shit happening. And even though the situations are magical and insane, you know, there's definitely elements of it that totally makes sense.
Right. And the other thing is, I mean, I've obviously been browsing all sorts of Harry Potter content on the internet and stuff like that, right? And so you see a lot of discussions, or get into a lot of discussions, depending on the type of person that you are, of what makes Harry Potter good, and what about its characters makes it convincing and things like that. And of course, there's all sorts of memes about how much people hate Umbridge and stuff like that. And I saw a really interesting comment that put it plainly for me, right? I always kind of understood, but I never really was able to word it concisely, right? And it's that there are people that exist that are Voldemort, right? Like crazy evil, murder in the streets, overthrow the government type of shit, right? 99% of us are never going to meet that person.
Right.
Right. We all know Umbridge.
Yeah.
We all know Rita Skeeter.
Right.
We all know these people that, or like all the people at the ministry who are just like failing, bumbling bureaucrats and stuff like that. We know those people. And that's why we hate them so much more, is because we project onto them. We're like, that fucking, 6th grade teacher, that son of a bitch, right?
Right.
And, so I'm wondering if that's why the series as a whole is so beloved, is because it's so easy to be like, no, I know that person.
Right.
Whether it's Umbridge, whether it's Professor Lupin, whether it's
Right. Well, it's that fantasy world, but it's like what it would actually be like. You know what I mean? Like it's because there are so many fantasy novels and stuff that are just completely unrelatable and like fantastic, kind of.
And that's because like. It's weird to say it's a fantasy novel that is how it would happen, right? Because how do you say that it's how it would happen? And again, I think it's because you're putting realistic characters, right? Like there are times in the Star Wars series, for example, because that's the other comparison for me, where you look at Luke or Rey or at some points even Han Solo, and you're like, that's not how a person does things, right?
That's what I meant, not how it would happen. Like there would be I don't know if there'd be a fucking wizard war, but I know there would be
I know for a fact that elm broomsticks would fly faster than oak broomsticks.
But like I know there would be an 11-year-old or 12-year-old sitting at the dining hall trying to turn his water into rum because
he's like, we gotta get wasted, boy. I know I just got to this wizard school shit, but we gonna do it.
We're gonna do it right now. You better believe it.
Yeah. Also, why rum? Was that Seamus Finnegan? Yeah.
I thought it rhymed, but now that I'm saying it in my head, I don't know if it is.
No, I think it's rum. I think you're right. But why do you just want to drink straight rum as a 12-year-old at breakfast?
Because you don't know. You're 12.
That's fair. Also, it's interesting because it's very clearly based off the British educational system.
Right?
And you're just getting this concept of, when you turn 12, or no, it's 11, right? Yeah. When you turn 11, you just get shipped off for the semester of school. And that's just boarding school, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, imagine if we only saw Mom and Dad on summers and holidays.
No.
What a weird thing.
Yeah, that is a really weird thing.
Right? Like, and then you wonder, so and I don't know if, any of the books of Fantastical Beasts explain this or anything like that, but for the American education system in the wizarding world, is there just like a wizarding elementary school, middle school down the street? Because we don't really have boarding schools. I mean, we do, but they're not the main practice, So is there just like a magic high school?
Well, no, I don't remember what it's called, but there's a wizarding school in America.
I know, and it has the 4 houses.
Right, but there's only the one because... And so you do have to get shipped to it.
Gotcha.
Which is funny, people talk about that on the internet, how J.K. Rowling doesn't understand America because not one school could...
That's fair.
It's
a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. But also, fuck J.K. Rowling, so whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. So I've been hearing rumors on the internet from various podcasts and message boards and things like that I go to, that there is a leak that there is a AAA, which for those of you not in the know, basically means just very high budget, high focus, like Call of Duty is AAA, or Halo is AAA. Like the big names that you know, even if you don't play video games, those are probably the ones that are AAA. But a AAA Harry Potter game is potentially in development for next spring, and it has been explicitly stated by the leak that they are working very little in direct contact with J.K. Rowling.
Good.
And it's just like, oh, you poor woman.
No,
like,
fuck her.
But it's just like...
No, I don't care.
Well, okay. I don't know if it's her trying to stay relevant or if it's that she realized that... Because the first mention of anyone being any person of color in that entire book series is the first match against Ravenclaw that has gone into detail in Quidditch. And the girl's name is fucking Cho Chang. You know?
Right.
So I think that once you get all this kind of power, this, you know, relevance in the media, right, that you start to look back and go, oh, I could be doing a lot more with this, like just for doing good in the world, that I am not doing. And so I think as time goes on, you see that exponential climb because she's panicking more and more of like, I had this really great thing that everyone was looking at, and I chose it to be about 3 little white children. Right. You know?
It's not that. I mean, I understand her thing on that. She's just super transphobic.
Oh, yeah, that too.
And
yeah,
I said, no, fuck you. You don't get to write such an incredible book series for children and then be extremely hateful.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. No, be Rick Riordan or whatever. He's awesome.
Rick Riordan is dope. I saw this other thing where it was something about JK posted a thing about, I think it was Stephen King, right? And, oh my God, what a great author. Like, I always looked up to you so much, whatever it is. And then he posted something, not even to her, right? To something else. And was like, yeah, trans women are women.
Yeah.
And then she went back and deleted her tweet saying how much. And I'm like, holy shit.
No, I follow Stephen King on Twitter.
And it's so
he's great.
Bizarre, like, especially when you have characters later on, like Tonks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who can just shapeshift. Right. Like, to me, that lends itself, you know, in a world where being different and being, you know, in a lot of cases, like having weird powers like shapeshifting or fucking whatever, right, is celebrated. How do you not celebrate all types of diversity in the real world? Exactly.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Like, the relatable message of Harry Potter is like, you get bullied your whole life for being different, and you find out that
you find the people.
Right, you find your people.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just goes to a community that's very relatable to and shits all over them.
Well, it's just so weirdly out of touch with your fan base.
Right.
Like, how do you not... I don't know.
Yeah, the people who love Harry Potter are very...
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter are very those type of people who, like, are inclusive and diverse.
Right, because they're the people who have felt like Harry.
Right.
And then found their people and have made a community of people to find.
Exactly. So, that's
I'm really
the message
about to
is
cry right now.
fuck J.K. Rowling. I know, me too.
Oh. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Russian dashcam videos and Harry Potter.
Yes, I was the one who got Nick started on rereading Harry Potter, by the way. Because I was partially reading.
And you better finish before I fucking finish, because I'm going to bowl just right over your ass. I'm going to steal the book from you.
I know. I'm on the 6th book right now, which I've never read because I, as a child, just fucking stopped on the 5th book. Right. So I didn't even read the end of that. And so I've reread all of those, read the ending of the 5th one, and I'm now on the 6th one. But I've also slowed down because it's a little bit more real life now for me, not quarantine anymore. And so I just get tired and don't want to do anything. But I'm trying. And also I got really sidetracked because I'm reading Fellowship of the Ring
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, and I fucking love it.
Well, and that's a fucking slog of a book, too.
Right.
Like, there's just chapters and chapters of it's fucking raining.
But I like that.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to prove people wrong, because every time I mention doing that, they're like, yeah, but it's a really hard book to get through and all this stuff. And I'm like, are you saying I can't do it? I'll fucking do it.
Well, it's that aspect of feeling challenged, right? But it's
Right.
also like, just because something's hard to do, right, does not mean it is not worth doing.
Right. Especially Lord of the Rings. Like, I have a really weird... Maybe it's not really weird, but, like, I love it so much for, like, no reason.
Right.
You know, I feel like...
You just are not... Like, our family is very, you know... We are fiction fans.
Right.
Right? We like our Star Wars and our Harry Potter and our Lord of the Rings and our fucking, you know, Percy Jacksons or whatever it is. But you don't... I mean, you don't strike me as, like, you know, being as wildly off the deep end as some of us are about stuff like that, you know, where you're like, I have spent probably days worth of my life looking at, okay, but who was the first Sith? Right. And they're like, oh, it was, you know, 1,000 years before Emperor Palpatine. It was this guy. And then it's like, no, that's not far enough. Who was the first one?
Right.
And you go back to when, like, Sith was a race of people, you know? Like, I've fallen down shit like that before, but you never have had that, like, level, that drive, except for Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Where you're just like, no, this thing.
Right.
But there's no clear, like, why.
Right, because I don't know why either. Like, I just enjoy it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I'm really enjoying that right now because I've never tried to read the books before, and then last summer I read The Hobbit, like, in 3 days or something
also camping.
like that. Also camping.
Yeah.
And so now I'm getting into that. And I love it, too, because I love talking to Dad about it.
Right.
Because our dad is a huge fan, and, you know, when he was a kid, did all the Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of stuff. So whenever I'm at a part in the book and I, like, talk to him about it, we can just start fucking chatting about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like talking about books with people.
Right.
So that's great.
It's fun to talk about things that you love with people that you love who also love the things that you
Right,
love.
exactly. So that was good. Other than that, I have been working,
Grinding,
and camping was so fun. It always is, but and sometimes it's hard because we have to be with children most of the time, like young kids.
Right, so we have our 2 cousins who are 6 and 9.
Right.
Or,
yeah.
No, 6 and 9, yeah. But there are other kids that are all their age.
Right. And younger.
That are also around the camp.
Right.
And so it can be hard because I'm not a parent.
Right.
I have not signed on to deal with small child, you know. But at the same time, I mean, I have a patience that is very similar to our late grandfather with children, where I'm like, yeah, you tug on my nose and shit and pull on my ears and I'll just sit here and smile.
Right.
Lainey does not have that patience and was about ready to powerbomb all of the children. Mm-hmm. Use one as a bat with which to cull the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, well, it's your vacation, right? And then some screaming thing just approaches your camp at like 8 in the morning.
Right. And that's the thing, too, is like, I want to read and to relax and enjoy the quiet.
Right.
And then you're 6 years old and you come on your Razor scooter to our camp because we have fucking donuts and you're not allowed to have that many, but because you're at your aunt and uncle's campsite, oh boy, you can.
Oh, you'll get that many.
And it is fucking 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, just leave. Why are you here? You know, but you can't say that because they're little and you don't.
They're a child.
And you want to be a good big cousin too.
And as we've agreed, they are still learning how to be human. Not even people, but
just human. Yeah, exactly. So you tamp down your feelings and it's better to be quiet.
Also, for emails this week, I want someone to send us their thoughts on if donut holes are donuts.
I think that's stupid because I think they are.
They're not. Because there are donut holes, not donuts.
People, I don't understand where Nick's coming from. So if you would love to settle this debate first, I would also really enjoy it.
Please send us an email.
I've also watched. Oh, I forgot. I was going to tell the story. I shotgunned a beer for the first time while we were camping.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was not as awful as I thought it was going to be, but still incredibly horrible.
You said not as awful as you thought it was going to be. Does that mean you thought you were going to vomit? Because it was not pretty when you did it. Like, you were, like, gagging and almost failing to drink the beer.
I was burping a lot, yeah. And I thought I might vomit. Also, I just think that beer tastes awful, and then I taste it, and it's not that awful, but it's still really bad.
Well, and you never drank good beer, though. You've always had, like, shitty canned beer or bottled beer, right? Like, we needed to get you something from, like, one of the breweries or something like that. Or just have you drink, like, cider. Or mead.
Don't want fucking beer. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm good with the hard shit. Vodka. You know, like, hard alcohol. Why? And if I'm okay with that, I don't need to drink beer, because it's just calories. I'm not trying to get fat. I'm not trying to gain weight right now.
I mean, it is calories, but, like, sometimes I don't want to take a shot. Sometimes I just want something to sip on, you know?
Well, that's your issue.
Keep the vibe going.
Drink to get drunk, Nick.
Well, you know. Oh, Lord.
Also, I'm getting snails.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't talk about that first, to be honest.
It's because you went first, so I forgot.
You forgot about the snails, the live creatures that are
currently... Because I'm so mad at J.K. Rowling.
That you forgot about your love for snails. Do not let hate make you forget love. You want a what?
Snatoo. Snail tattoo. Snatoo.
Snatoo.
Because I'm getting snails, people. I bought them cute things and have a tank almost set up for them. I have moss for them. Mm-hmm. I have a spray bottle. It's going to be incredible. And they're coming in the mail. 5+, which don't know what that means, but...
I was telling Lainey, I don't like that there is an infinite potential upper limit. Like, I feel like it should be between 5 and 10 or something. Not, I don't know, 5 for sure, but 60, you know? Like, might as well just be a million snails.
Right.
It is menacing.
Also, my boss thinks they're going to die at the end of the month.
Why does your boss think that?
I don't know. I think that he's really upset with the idea of me having snails as pets. I don't think he thinks they're pets.
What a boomer.
They're like bugs.
What a boomer.
Mom called them bugs. I was like
not
no.
Scientifically, but like, yeah, I get it. But people have like pet tarantulas.
Don't talk about it.
All right.
I saw one when we were at the pet store yesterday.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say like you saw one walking around, and I was like, fucking shoot it.
If I saw a tarantula in the wild, you'd better believe I dropped dead. You'd better believe it. If we were walking in the wilderness and there was a giant fucking spider walking, I would throw up and die. My heart would come out of my mouth when I threw up, and it would beat for like 2 seconds and I'd just die, Nick. Okay?
So, besides the hilarity of that entire statement, there is also the idea of the spider, quote, just walking. You know? Of him just like strolling, like just jive walking down the fucking street. You know? Like, it's not like he's just on a rock, like, hanging out, or, like, just crawling around. Like, he walking, you know? This man really out here walking. Oh, fuck.
God. Yeah. No, yeah. I can't deal with that. Not one little bit.
God. We're about at time that we can start talking about the reason that people are probably here.
And not thinking about tarantulas strutting down the street.
He strutting. He jiving. He walking.
He tips his hat to you as he walks by.
I was just about to ask how many hats a spider wears, but it's still just one because he has 8 legs.
Yeah, what the fuck? Ask how many shoes he wears.
Well, no, because the answer is 8.
No, because if he's walking and you said he's strutting, maybe
strut
he's
with 8
using
legs
his first 2
to
or once
accentuate his strut with arms.
Yeah.
And I guess you can't wear shoes on all of your limbs because you still need to interact with things, right? Like grab.
Well, he doesn't have thumbs.
No, but they still like sticky, grab. Right? Are they? No, they have hairs.
Yeah. No. Well, I don't want to
talk about this.
You know, I can never look up information about spiders because pictures come up. And so, one time...
You need, like, the most dry, boring scientific paper.
Right. And so, like, one time I was like, do spiders have tongues? And I don't remember the answer to this. But I was with my friend group and I was like, well, one of you look it up? Because I was like, I can't fucking do it because...
Because it's going to be pictures of spider mouths.
Yeah, and I can't... Oh, even just thinking about it, like, Jesus Christ. Oh! You know? Oh. So...
Oh, I could look at every one of these fucking waveforms and you're responsible for all of them. It's just screaming and laughing and gagging.
I only like 2 spiders.
Okay.
The one that bites Jake in Adventure Time.
Oh, if you guys haven't seen just search Spider Bite Jake Adventure Time and you'll understand what we're talking about.
It's legendary. It is the most hilarious thing. Oh my god. And then Lucas the spider who's on YouTube.
That's fair. So both of them are cartoons.
True.
Yeah.
Lucas looks a little bit more real, but still not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you. I don't even like Charlotte. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah. Well, and then there's that weird like moon-faced spider. The, like, pedophile.
Oh, from Mrs. Sunny's Patch of Friends or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just put those two in my head together, but I know they're not the same thing.
What?
Charlotte.
Oh,
and the moon-faced man spider
pedophile. He's really scary. He's like handsome Squidward, but...
Evil.
Evil, yeah. Very evil.
Evil. So basically just Squilliam Fancy Son.
Yes. Except he's funny, so...
Ah.
Okay.
All right, should we talk about things now?
Yeah.
All right.
This week, we're discussing if you went forwards or backwards in time. I'm going to say unwillingly.
Yeah, it's not like you step into the machine like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this. Like you just...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you just wake up or you're going to like a closet and you open the door and... Oh shit, it's 1945, you know?
Like, you're looking into the closet and it just opens back like you're going out of the closet?
Like, you go into a closet for some unknown
and then
reason.
You come out.
And you come back out and it's a different time.
Gotcha. Where are the notes on your phone?
Up top right box.
Sometimes stuff?
I think. Sure, I don't know.
There we go, we got it.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
No,
Sorry.
Please continue. Start talking about time. So do you want to talk about just how strange it would be and like what you would do? Or are we going to get all fucking weird and talk about like how time travel would actually work? Like, is it like just Back to the Future time travel where it's all one timeline? You know?
Or is it Avengers?
Or is it, well, but Avengers, they go, well, it's not like Back to the Future, and then it proceeds to be exactly like Back to the Future.
No, it doesn't, because they create different timelines.
But then, like, the timelines end, and they can't be...
because they take the stone from one timeline, and it creates a different timeline, because that's where there is no stone, so it plays out different. So then they have to go back and put back the stone so it plays out the same or something, and that doesn't mess it up.
I don't know.
I also don't know. I would prefer...
I don't want to talk about how fucking time travel works, because I'm an idiot and I don't know.
Yeah, and also fuck physics.
Fuck physics. Physics, it explains everything, but I don't like how it explains everything, because I'm bad at it. I feel like if I was better at physics, I would like it more.
I refuse to ever take a physics class.
Yeah, me too. I have made it this far without taking a physics class, and I will not.
Yeah, same. So sorry to you physics fans out there.
Because it's science, but only math. It's like extra bad chemistry.
I love math. Do not like science.
Math is garbage, and people who like it are garbage.
You just call your own sister garbage?
You are.
That means you're garbage, or at least part garbage.
Because we share DNA, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Garbage.
I probably am.
I'm the trash man.
I'm the trash man. Alright, we should talk. It's been 3 minutes of us trying to get this conversation started and just defaulting to fucking memes.
Oh, hey, by the way, I took an ADHD test.
Uh-oh.
I paid $2 for it because I may have been not sober. And it said there's a 50% likelihood that I have it.
So you took an ADHD test high?
No.
You were drunk?
Yeah.
When was this?
Like a couple days ago.
Oh, was that? Oh, a couple days ago?
I think.
I thought this was the champagne night that you were talking about.
No.
Oh. Weird. Rock on.
Yeah, so there's that, just to let you know.
I don't feel like those results are reliable on account of the fact that you were impaired.
But I paid... Oh, that's
But
weird.
you paid for it?
I thought you meant the website at first,
no,
but
no,
then
no,
you
no,
said...
no.
Yeah. No.
I mean that you are the error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah. So time travel.
Yeah, so time travel.
I think it would be a lot weirder to go forward than back.
Yes, 100%.
Because we understand
to some degree
that there was a time without the internet and phones and etc. But when you go forward and everyone has like fucking implants and shit.
Right.
Right? Because even imagine what will happen like 40 years.
Right. Well, especially if you look at the 1900s.
Yeah.
Like the beginning versus
the end.
Yeah. The change that happened is insane.
The disparity, yes.
Right. So if someone from the 1940s went like 1980, they would be like, I only went forward fucking 40 years. Well, what the fuck's going on?
And I think that because of the way that technology works is it increases at an exponential rate, right? Which is why the 1900s looks like that. Because from 1776, right? So end of the American Revolution, we're shooting guys with muskets.
Right.
Civil War, 1864, we're still shooting guys with muskets, right? That's 100 years, right? And during this time, we go through the Industrial Revolution and everything like that. So then in the Civil War, you start to see things like Gatling guns and that technology start to come forward. Then you move 100 years forward, and we're in Korea with M16s and planes and helicopters and shit.
Yeah.
So what does 2064 look like?
Right. Because if it is the exponential rate of, like, in my lifetime, I feel like things haven't changed that much, but it's only because I wasn't conscious enough to witness it.
Yes.
Right. Because it changed so much since I've been alive, but, like, I just didn't realize it because I was fucking 8 years old and didn't care.
Well, like, when I was in middle school, the rich kids had the first iPhone. You know? Like, and we were all like, what the fuck? Right? And there was all the really early Gen 1 apps of, like, you press the button and the screen looks like it fills up with a fake soda. And if I tip it, it looks like I'm drinking this.
Right.
And we were all like, what the fuck?
Right.
What do you mean? Where does it go? Right? Like, and now our fridge talks to us.
Right.
And it's been, oh, Jesus Christ. What, 13 is middle school? So.
Yeah.
10. Less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Like elementary school / middle school, we were still using Elmo and VHS and that kind of stuff. And then in high school.
Oh, you know, Elmo and yeah.
Not,
Elmo in
not
school.
The puppet.
I know. I was like, why was Elmo involved in your education? I don't.
And then in high school, it's all fucking smart boards and like apps and Kahoot and shit.
Well, I was in my elementary school, in our elementary school, I was in the first class to get a smart board, and it was this weird it was a giant touch screen, but you had to project the picture onto the touch screen.
Right. Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
As opposed to now where it's one seamless thing.
Because you have to calibrate it and shit. You remember
every 3 seconds,
right?
Because it would be like a foot off from what, and you're like, sure. Fuck, and then the teacher's trying to calibrate it, and they don't really know how to calibrate it,
and everyone's shouting at them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
But I would... I was going to say I'd prefer going to the past, but I don't know if that's true.
Well, what is this? I mean, because if it's unwilling, we don't know for how long it is, right?
Yes.
So let's talk potentially permanently first.
Okay.
Right? If we go, and are we setting a time? Like, are we talking like a flat 50 years? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I was going to talk about where I'd like to go first.
Okay.
And, like, where I wouldn't.
Sure. Where would you like to go? Between past, like, are we talking between past and future, or are we talking
like
time periods?
Like, in past and in future,
Time
like,
periods.
how far.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that in the future, I would want to go as far as, like, seeing our children grown. Because, like...
That's fucking far.
I know, but, like, I think that's what I would enjoy. Because I don't think
When
I would want...
When you say grown, do you mean, like, young adults? Or, like, have children of their own?
Yeah, like that.
So, like...
Like, Meet the Robinsons.
Like, late 30s, 40s.
Oh, that's not grown. Yeah, yeah. Because
yeah.
I don't know if I'll get to witness that. Whereas, like... Because if I just do young adults, I'm there already,
right.
You know?
Oh,
probably.
There is a high likelihood that you will be able to see your children with children.
Well, yeah, but like, it's less likely. So it's like more interesting also to see them older.
But if that's the case, why not just go to the point that you are for sure dead and your kids are like 60? You know?
Yeah, that too.
Which, I don't know, at the rate of medical advancements, I could be a robot.
Right.
I'm down with that. I'm scared of death. You know?
So that's where I want to go in the future. Because I think that it would be super cool to see the advancements in such a large span of time. And also I would like to see things that I'm not guaranteed to see. You know what I mean?
Sure.
In the past, I have no clue. I just think of time in the past based on fucking wars. So, like, I don't want to
Isn't
go...
that horrible and fucked up?
It is horrible
that
and
we're
fucked
like,
up.
what was happening in the 1910s? Oh, World War One.
Right.
What else? I don't fucking know.
Right, because between wars, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, like, what was the... Well, now I'm trying to think of a time between wars, and it's like...
Like, between World War One and
like
Two.
Like 20s.
Yeah.
Because 30s was Great Depression.
Right.
20s was Roaring 20s, but that's all I know. I know there was a good economy, and people were like, hey, alcohol and nihilism.
Right. I might enjoy the 20s, except, you know... See, I also think of racism in the past. I'm like, I don't...
Yeah.
That's fuck shit. Like,
yeah, that's not great.
So I probably would prefer going to the future.
Sure.
But if I had to go to the past, I might go to, like, hippies. Woodstock. You know?
So,
70s? 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Woodstock was 69?
Yeah, I think so.
We are
Summer
children.
of Love.
We are children that don't know what we're talking about. So
our
if
father was born in 69, so,
true.
You know.
You know.
Jazz.
What?
You like jazz?
Fucking weirdo. I agree. I think it'd be fun to see events like that. But then also, like, because, again, we are Americans and therefore war-focused. Or maybe we're just humans and they're therefore war-focused. So, Korea.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Vietnam.
Vietnam was 60s, then Korea was 70s?
I think so.
And then 80s was something else. Oh, Gulf War? Or was that 90s? I don't know. I saw a thing the other day that said, here's the year that you were born, and if you were born in this year, then for X percentage of your life, America has been actively at war.
Right.
Turns out, there were 2 years that I've been alive that we have not been at war.
I've only been alive during war.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I would... I don't know, because I feel like going forward and seeing things that you for sure wouldn't see would give me crippling, like, FOMO, right?
Mm.
Because I'm like, wow, if I had just lived a year longer, I could have been put in a robot.
Oh.
You know? And then you live your entire life striving to earn an extra year of time. Although I've seen a thing before where it's like, you cannot increase your lifespan. You can only determine how quickly it ends.
Oh.
So you can live as a cancer, well, not, I mean, if it gets real bad, like, it ends early, right? But you can live as, like, a disease-riddled husk of a person and it's just this really slow decline, or, you know, you go for a run every day and you're the guy that's eating relatively healthy and everything like that, and then one night it just boom, fucking cliff, like doing totally fine to dead. Right? Which is the way that I think we'd all prefer to go.
Yeah, the slow decline thing is so tough on literally everybody involved.
True.
That it's probably preferable to go quickly. Hopefully not young, but...
No, but like, if you gotta go, I want it to be quick.
Right.
You know?
Same.
So, I think that I would prefer... if it's permanent, I'd... Because what happens, like... Because I was going to say, like, if it's permanent, I'd prefer to go back. Because then I can still know our family. Right?
Oh.
And I can just be, like, friends with mom and dad instead of their child. But then I will also be their child.
Well,
you know?
Well, and if it's permanent, you don't get kids.
What do you mean?
If you go into the future and, like I'm saying, trying to go and meet my kids, but it's permanent, there are no kids because I'm in the future.
True.
So I would have to have the children in the future.
Yeah.
So I'd be just fucking alone, except for maybe your children.
Right.
And then they'd be like, Aunt Lainey went missing in 2020
and fucking reappeared in 2069.
No, but they'd be like, because they'd probably only have seen pictures and
of you as you are now.
Right.
And then you walk up to them and they're like, why do you look familiar?
Familiar, exactly. So then it'd be like, and they never found her and it did this to the family.
Yeah, the family was all fucked up.
And they buried an empty casket and all this shit, you know. So if it's permanent, I agree. I would like to go back.
If you go missing, I'm not paying for an empty casket to be put in the ground. I'll have a nice vigil somewhere nice, but I'm not building a nice box to put in the ground.
Well, that's what I wanted to get cremated anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So I agree. Also, what if it's like you're friends with grandma and grandpa, not like mom and dad?
That'd be rad. I feel like it'd be a lot better to be friends with grandpa than grandma. I'm just throwing that out there.
Fucking.
Back when she was really kicking, I mean, she was a wild child and a half.
She also said some things to our mom.
She did say some things to our mom that were less than kind.
Right. Because
grandma.
Gender roles.
Well, you know.
So.
Well, like if we're talking back to going to the 60s and shit, like.
Right.
You want some fucking gender roles, goddamn.
Yeah, like if I go in this outfit, I'm wearing like running shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, you are naked.
Right, yeah, like where's my skirt? Where's my capris?
Cover your fucking ankles.
Right.
You whore. Yeah, correct. As for the future, I think it'd be cool because again, because technology as it goes on, if you go far enough, it is just magic. Right? Like, that's all that it becomes. Because if I were to show, smartphone or even like a microphone to someone in, let's say, like 1920.
Right.
The microphone, they would probably understand what it is, but they'd be like, how did you get it so small?
Right.
Right. Whereas if I show them, my phone.
That's fucking magic.
They're like, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
Right, literally.
How does it not have any buttons on the front?
Yeah.
That it just knows that you're touching a fake button.
Right.
Right. So I think it'd be cool to go to whatever the minimum point is to have that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of like, everything is AR as opposed to,
I disagree with you because I would just turn into Squidward. Future. And I would just break down and they'd throw me in a ward somewhere. A psych ward. So to
be fair, in the future, it's either the best psych ward that's ever existed or the worst.
What?
Because with all the advancements in technology, they'd throw you in a ward and they're like, where do you want to be? And you could be like, I want to be back in the year 2020. And it'd be a perfect, like, holodeck Star Trek recreation of this.
Okay.
And it'd feel real. And then you could just go insane in there and be like, it's back. We're back. It's fine.
Oh, that's valid.
Yeah.
But so I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I would like to recognize somebody, or know somebody.
Have some basis.
That has have connections somehow.
What do you do? What happens if? So I don't want to go too far down this because it's the note that I put in your phone is for another podcast that I want to do and that we might do next week because I really want to do it. What happens if a person just shows up and has no credentials anywhere? Like, what do you do if there's just a person in the U.S. that's like, I don't have any social security, anything. Like, I am nameless, I am faceless, I am numberless.
Right.
They're like, well, you're not from here, so you're going to get deported. And you're like, okay, where?
Yeah.
Because I don't exist. So...
Right. Like, yeah, what if somebody shows up, no birth certificate, no
Nothing.
name, like, they've been almost completely isolated.
Zero documentation.
Right.
They do not exist as far as the government is aware.
Right. That's insane. I have no clue.
Right.
I mean, I wonder if they have some procedure that's rarely ever used.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I feel like some people do that, like
you come out of a convent or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, well, we got to put you in the system now that you're 20.
Right. Vaguely real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, have you ever thought about how bacteria and like germs have evolved? Because if you go back in time
and you have the super virus that you're just immune to because humanity has become immune to it,
right.
and you just wreck
existence. Kill fucking everyone.
Well,
yeah. Or you go into the future and you just
they
die
have the super virus
because you're not immune to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because whatever chemical they're using in the filtered air is
right.
just like, well, that kills us because we're the sensitive version of ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a fair point. Disease. But in the future, they'll be like, oh, you have the disease. Let me siphon it out of your skin.
Right.
Like, have you seen there was a thing where, like, patents got put out or finalized for needleless injections?
Jesus, no.
And so it just uses pressure to force liquid through your pores.
No. Stick a needle in me.
So instead of the needle, which is super thin, it's like this wide, and it just goes and just pushes it all under your arm.
Needle. Fuck you.
I really don't like needles. It's not like a phobia, but like I can't look. I'm just not gonna look, and it's and I have to like do like breathing exercises while it's in my arm, and then once it's out, I'm like, okay, we're good, we're fine.
Interesting. You learn something new every day about your siblings, kids.
Yeah, true.
That you can use against them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are
you saying that you're gonna like attack me with needles?
No.
Because that's what it sounds like you're gonna do.
Don't watch the second Saw movie, okay?
Yeah, but I feel like life would almost be too easy if you went back in time because you know everything that's gonna happen. So if you just wanted to be like a billionaire,
right?
Just do it,
right?
You know, like
invest in fucking Apple when it comes
and
time.
Microsoft, fucking invent Amazon.
Yeah, fuck you, Jeff Bezos.
Now you are Jeff Bezos.
I'm Jeff Bezos.
You're the Bezos now.
Except that maybe I would donate more to charity.
I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
Like there was a thing that I saw about a soccer player who makes like millions and millions, like crazy money, and he got ribbed in a press conference because he has a cracked iPhone. And they're like, you got all this money, dude. What are you walking around looking like poor boy, right? And he's like, why do I need 3 jets and 4 watches and diamond encrusted everything?
Right.
Why do I need to replace this if it still works? And it turns out that he donates like some ridiculous, like 80% of everything he makes to an entire village in Senegal. And that every person in that village gets like a paycheck from him every week that's like $70,
right?
You know, to help support their family economies and stuff like that. And I'm like, imagine the Bezos village,
right?
You know?
No, there's math proving that he could potentially end world hunger.
Well, no. So, yes, there is.
Like, it wouldn't happen because of the relations, right? It's just the money.
It's not the relation. I mean, yes, that's part of it because there's a whole lot of countries that have issues and racism and the. But it's the infrastructure is the issue. So we already have enough food.
Right. I know that.
It's just getting it to where it needs to go.
Right.
And people being willing to get it where it needs to go. Because there's a lot of people that are like, well, that's not my problem because I'm across the world.
Right.
Remember that time we were talking about time travel?
Yeah, we didn't.
This is not a... I mean, it's supposed to be the time travel podcast, and we are just not time travel podcasting.
That's true.
It's because we haven't talked on this podcast in so long that it's like, we have to fucking sit here and just talk.
Right.
Because, I don't even know. But yeah, I feel like going back in time would be boring, but more comfortable, probably.
Yes. You think it would be boring?
Absolutely.
I think that it would be really interesting.
Think how used you are to all of the modern advances in technology that we have, even cars.
Yeah.
You can't drive a stick shift.
That's true.
That's your option now.
I'm walking.
Go invent the automatic.
You think that I'm smart enough to do that?
I don't know.
No. The answer is no.
I feel like if you knew that it could exist, you could sit down and work it out.
You think highly of me.
I do. Because you're an intelligent person that can figure things out.
I don't know anything about cars.
Well, there's lots of books at the library. You don't have a phone and you don't have a computer, but you have to go to the library and figure it out. Yep.
No!
Get fucked. Or all you have to do is patent the idea and let some other jackass invent it.
And then reap all the rewards.
Yes, because it is your intellectual property.
Love that.
Right? That's why people are inventing shit like the needleless syringe, so that when someone actually figures out how to do it, that they can be like, that's mine. I thought of it first.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I would like to think I wouldn't do that.
I'd split it with them. I'd be like, give me 20%. That's all.
Okay.
You know? Okay. And not never lump sum. Always royalties, right? Like, always the more that you make, I get 20% of whatever it is that is made.
Yeah.
I've told you that story about the Witcher author. Yeah. That guy's a fucking idiot.
Call him out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think going forward in the future would be a lot less comfortable, but it'd be cool. I mean, we obviously don't know what the future looks like, but I mean, I assume as time goes on that things will get better.
Would you enjoy Meet the Robinsons kind of style?
I have seen that movie once, and it was back when I was probably 13.
I also think I've seen it like once. Maybe twice, because it freaked me out.
Because of like existential crises?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We get that a lot. Why do we get that a lot?
Anxiety.
All right.
Ridden in our family.
Yeah.
But that's really cool because he sees himself as an adult.
And like all of his children and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I feel like it'd be cool. But is it one of those things where like with time travel, if you meet yourself or your children, like it gets all fucky?
Not in that movie.
I feel like if I met myself, like if, I don't know, like some guy walked up to me and was like, hey, I'm you from the future. It wouldn't take a lot for me to believe that, to be honest.
Like the fucking New Girl episode.
Where he's just a hobo that is like, says like 3 things.
And it totally convinces Nick that he's, and then he's like, I'm gonna go back to the...
And he sits in the box.
Box and he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay.
But like, I feel like I could cope with that because I live in a fantasy realm in which that's a thing that could potentially happen. Except I heard a thing where you can go forward in time based on physics, but you can't go backwards in time. Because if you start moving, you can change your perception of time if you move at a fast enough speed. So if you go fast enough, then your perception is that it's been only a couple of minutes. But the reality, quote, is that it's been like years. But you can't go slow enough that you can go backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're always
because
going forward.
The slowest you can go is 0.
Right.
So, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, if we freeze people in pods and then just whip them around at the speed of light, then they can go to the future. But we can't send them back. Yeah. So, you know. Yeah. Time travel is cool. I think I'd rather prefer to just sit here.
Yeah, me too.
Which
even though everything is really fucked right now.
It's the bad year.
It is the bad year.
It's the bad year.
It's been the bad year.
Yeah. For like a while.
For a long time.
A lot of the mid to late teens have been the bad year.
I just meant forever, like, before this.
Just, like, everything before this has been the bad year.
Yeah.
Like, through the existence of humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. The burning of the Library of Alexandria set us back 1,000 years.
Oh, Jesus. We don't talk about it. It literally makes me so unreasonably mad. Maybe not unreasonably. So mad.
Who the fuck burned it?
Who the fuck burned it? I'll kill you.
No, hold on.
I will go back in time to that point in time and go to jail and be executed for murder because fuck that guy.
Wow,
and I know it was a man.
The first one who burned the Library of Alexandria in Egypt is the first one that comes up.
Who is it?
Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab.
I knew it. No, I didn't know it.
When he conquered Alexandria in Egypt, it is claimed that he had burned the Library of Alexandria. The earliest quotation that is often used by proponents goes back as far as the 13th century.
Fuck that guy.
So, Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab, if your ghost is listening, fuck you. You literally ruined humanity.
Yeah, you literally fucked everyone over.
He literally, the one motherfucker, you could raise the city. Just kill them all, burn them all, crumble it all down, use it as dust for building something else. Leave the library.
Jesus.
If you had left the library, it would be the year 3000 right now.
Not much has changed, but we live
Thanks,
underwater.
Jonas Brothers.
You're welcome.
Oh, can you, like, 1,000 years?
No, I can't imagine it.
We just were having the conversation of how technology is exponentially, you know, like we just talked about the difference of 1864 to 1964, and then what the fuck is going to happen 1964 to 2064? 3064.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Why? Because it freaks you out?
Yeah.
Is you have FOMO over the future?
Yep.
All right.
Don't have FOMO of the past, though.
Nah.
But that's just because we know about it.
Well, yeah.
Well.
There's some things that I'm like, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Regrets. I've had a few.
I thought you were going to say remember me.
But then again. Too few to mention. Yeah.
Okay, well.
We could be done. You want to just keep talking for like 3 minutes? We could just make it a round hour.
No!
Because I'm sitting here distressed about the burning of the Library of Alexandria.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
And the group of people that don't have people that made a group of people for people that need people.
I have no idea. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
We can't just sing into the microphone for 3 minutes.
Why 3?
Oh.
Let's just end it.
Oh,
I'm
well,
so
no.
upset. They need to be upset about the library, and that's where we should leave it.
Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab. Write it in stone.
Yeah. Say fuck.
Normally, we would read a email at this portion of the podcast. This is where I'd put an email, if I had one.
Yeah.
So, if you would like to send an email to us that we could read, or you can contact us on Reddit, Instagram. I think we have a Twitter.
We do have a Twitter.
What's the other one? YouTube. Then you can send an email to hypotheticalsiblings@gmail.com. That's hypothetical, HYPOTHETICAL, siblings, SIBLINGS, @gmail.com. But for this week, we bid you all adieu.
Adieu.
Adieu. Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab.